After the Civil War, many African Americans sought new beginnings in the West. The promise of freedom and the allure of uncharted territories drew them away from the oppressive conditions of the South. They embarked on arduous journeys, often traveling in wagons with hopes of finding a place where they could build a better future for themselves and their families. Oklahoma, with its vast lands, became a destination for those seeking opportunity and refuge from the Jim Crow South. The expansive landscapes offered a blank canvas for these pioneers to create new lives. They arrived with dreams of owning land, establishing businesses, and living in communities where they could thrive without the constant threat of racial violence and discrimination. Among these migrants were many who settled in Greenwood, a neighborhood in Tulsa. Greenwood quickly became a beacon of hope and prosperity for African Americans. The settlers brought with them a strong sense of community and a determination to succeed despite the many obstacles they faced. Greenwood became a haven for black entrepreneurship and community building. The neighborhood was filled with black-owned businesses, from grocery stores and barbershops to theaters and hotels. These enterprises not only provided essential services but also created jobs and fostered economic independence. It flourished as a self-sufficient enclave where black residents could thrive despite the prevailing segregation and discrimination of the time. The well-maintained homes and bustling streets of Greenwood were a testament to the hard work and resilience of its residents. They built a community where they could live with dignity and pride. This vibrant community came to be known as Black Wall Street. It was a place where African Americans could achieve financial success and social mobility. The name Black Wall Street symbolized the economic power and cultural richness of Greenwood. Greenwood's residents built their own businesses, schools, churches, and hospitals. These institutions were the backbone of the community, providing education, spiritual guidance, and health care. They were symbols of self-reliance and collective effort. They created a world where black doctors, lawyers, teachers, and business owners served their community with pride. These professionals were role models and leaders, demonstrating that African Americans could excel in various fields and contribute significantly to society. The success of Greenwood stood as a testament to black resilience and ingenuity. It was a shining example of what could be achieved when a community came together with a shared vision and unwavering determination. The legacy of Greenwood continues to inspire future generations to strive for excellence and justice. If you enjoyed this video and want to support our channel, please like and subscribe to Africarized. Your support helps us bring more stories like this to light. Thank you. Black Wall Street was more than just a neighborhood. It was a symbol of black economic power. Located in the Greenwood District of Tulsa, Oklahoma, it was a thriving hub of African American business and culture in the early 20th century. This area was a testament to the resilience and ingenuity of its residents, who built a prosperous community despite the pervasive racial discrimination of the era. The Greenwood District boasted a thriving business district along Greenwood Avenue. This avenue was lined with black-owned businesses, including grocery stores, clothing shops, movie theaters, and restaurants. It was a bustling area where commerce and community thrived hand in hand. The success of these businesses was a source of immense pride for the residents and a beacon of hope for African Americans across the country. Its residents enjoyed a level of affluence uncommon for African Americans at the time. Many families owned their homes, and the community had its own schools, hospitals, and public services. This level of self-sufficiency was rare and demonstrated the potential for black communities to thrive independently. The wealth in Greenwood was not just financial but also cultural and social, creating a well-rounded and vibrant community. Luxury goods were commonplace, and stories circulated of residents with cash to spare. People shopped in upscale stores, and it was not unusual to see the latest fashions and luxury items in Greenwood. This prosperity was a stark contrast to the poverty experienced by many African Americans in other parts of the country, highlighting the unique success of Black Wall Street. Doctors and lawyers thrived, serving not only Greenwood but also white clientele from Tulsa. The professional class in Greenwood was highly respected and played a crucial role in the community's success. These professionals provided essential services and were symbols of black excellence and achievement. Their success was a testament to the talent and hard work of the African American community. It was a testament to the power of community, self-sufficiency, and Black excellence. The residents of Greenwood supported each other and built a strong, cohesive community. This unity was a key factor in their success as they worked together to overcome the challenges they faced. The sense of pride and solidarity in Greenwood was palpable and contributed to the area's prosperity. This economic success was coupled with a vibrant cultural scene. Greenwood was not just a place of business, but also a center of cultural activity. The community hosted numerous events, including music performances, art exhibitions, and literary gatherings. These cultural activities enriched the lives of the residents and attracted visitors from outside the district, further boosting the local economy. Greenwood was home to renowned musicians, artists, and intellectuals. These individuals contributed to the rich cultural tapestry of the community and were celebrated for their talents. The presence of such prominent figures in Greenwood underscored the area's significance as a cultural hub. Their work inspired future generations and left a lasting legacy. Its residents enjoyed a rich social life with theaters, dance halls, and nightclubs, providing entertainment and fostering community bonds. The nightlife in Greenwood was vibrant, with numerous venues offering a variety of entertainment options. These social spaces were important for building relationships and creating a sense of community. They also provided a platform for local artists and performers to showcase their talents. Black Wall Street was a shining example of what African Americans could achieve when given the opportunity to prosper. It stood as a powerful symbol of Black economic power, cultural richness, and community strength. The legacy of Black Wall Street continues to inspire and remind us of the potential for greatness within all communities when they are allowed to thrive. The success of Black Wall Street did not go unnoticed. Resentment simmered amongst some white Tulsans, fueled by racial prejudice and economic envy. The progress and prosperity of Greenwood stood in stark contrast to the lives of many white Tulsans, further deepening the divide. Racial tensions were already high in the Jim Crow South. Segregation was the law of the land, and lynchings were a terrifying reality for Black Americans. In Tulsa, these tensions were exacerbated by the rapid growth and success of Greenwood. The local newspaper, often reflecting the prejudices of the time, published inflammatory articles that stoked fear and resentment towards the Black community. This created a climate of hostility and suspicion, setting the stage for the tragic events that were to unfold. On May 30th, 1921, a young Black man named Dick Rowland entered an elevator operated by a young white woman named Sarah Page. Rowland, a 19-year-old shoe shiner, was simply going about his daily routine. Sarah Page, 17, was working as an elevator operator in the Drexel building, a common job for young women at the time. The two were familiar with each other, having crossed paths numerous times before. However, on this particular day, something happened that would change the course of history. What transpired in that elevator remains unclear. But rumors quickly spread through Tulsa, accusing Rowland of assaulting Page. Some say Rowland may have tripped and accidentally brushed against Page, while others speculate that a scream was heard, leading to wild assumptions. The truth of the matter was lost in the chaos that ensued. The small town of Tulsa, already a tinderbox of racial tensions, was quick to react to the unverified claims. The rumor mill churned, fueled by racial prejudice and sensationalism. People whispered in hushed tones, and the story grew more distorted with each retelling. The white community, already harboring deep-seated fears and resentments towards the prosperous Black neighborhood of Greenwood, saw this as an opportunity to assert their dominance. The atmosphere grew increasingly charged as the day went on. Despite the lack of evidence, the local newspaper published an inflammatory article, further inciting racial tensions. The article, filled with sensationalist language and unverified claims, painted Rowland as a dangerous criminal. Headlines screamed of an attempted assault, stoking the fires of anger and fear. The power of the press in shaping public opinion was on full display, and the consequences would be dire. The article, with its biased and inflammatory language, served as a call to action for those looking for an excuse to unleash violence upon Greenwood. The black community, known as Black Wall Street for its economic success, became a target. The tension in the air was palpable, and it was clear that something terrible was about to unfold. People gathered in the streets, reading the headlines and discussing the events with a mix of fear and anticipation. A white mob gathered outside the courthouse where Rowland was held, demanding he be lynched. The mob, growing in size and anger, was determined to take justice into their own hands. They were not interested in a fair trial or the truth. They wanted blood. The courthouse, meant to be a place of law and order, became a focal point of chaos and hatred. The authorities, overwhelmed and outnumbered, struggled to maintain control. This mob, fueled by racial hatred and spurred on by the incendiary newspaper article, was ready to take the law into their own hands. Shouts and threats filled the air as the mob grew more agitated. The situation was rapidly spiraling out of control, and it was clear that violence was imminent. The black community, aware of the growing danger, began to organize in an attempt to protect Rowland and themselves from the impending onslaught. The stage was set for a confrontation that would have devastating consequences. The events that followed would lead to one of the most tragic and destructive episodes in American history. The Tulsa Race Massacre, as it would come to be known, would leave a lasting scar on the community and serve as a stark reminder of the destructive power of racism and hatred. The tension in the streets was a prelude to the horror that was about to unfold, a moment in time that would never be forgotten. On the night of May 31st, 1921, tensions boiled over. Armed white mobs descended upon Greenwood, met with resistance from black residents determined to protect their homes and businesses. What began as a confrontation quickly escalated into a massacre. The mob, vastly outnumbering the black residents, unleashed a torrent of violence. They looted and burned homes and businesses, leaving a trail of destruction in their wake. Eyewitness accounts told of unimaginable horrors. Black residents gunned down in the streets, their bodies left to smolder amidst the ruins. The massacre continued for hours, with the mob facing little resistance from law enforcement. In fact, some accounts suggest that law enforcement officers participated in the violence, deputizing white citizens and even firing upon black residents from airplanes.